Well, hello. Welcome to another Wednesday Walkie Talkie. And we're in March now. We're in spring, hopefully. Although the weather around here can snap back to being quite wintry. Oh, you can see my hand properly. But yeah, nice sunny, nice clear blue sky. So hopefully, well, we shouldn't get rained on today. That'll be unique. So, last week I covered Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond leaving Xbox, and Microsoft as a whole. In fact, it's interesting that in the way that that's happened, listening to people talking about the circumstances, or what they think of the circumstances around it, because we don't really know, and you never really do get to know what the circumstances are. I tell you, going down this slope, you don't see it on the camera as much, but if that slope was slippy, I'd be on my backside. It's quite steep, so you feel it in your calves as you're going down. So now we're gonna go. Let's have a look in here. See what's going on in here. Because it's not been raining for a bit, these pathways potentially might start to become a little bit more passable. Still got this kind of mud going on here, but yeah. So yeah, quite a bit of analysis. I've watched quite a few videos on it. I think the general consensus of opinion was, and it kind of what I touched upon in the video, that Microsoft essentially hawking out their games onto every other system was a mistake. I've watched quite a few videos, as I say, on the subject, and that does seem to be the overall consensus, that releasing your sort of prized assets on competitive consoles. I was watching a video, one particular guy in his video was saying it shows a lack of confidence in your own product, and he's spot on. It really does. If you don't feel that you can sell the hardware, then it kind of follows on that if you feel that you can't do that, then software, if your first party software is being released on sort of many different machines, you feel that's the way that you can sort of bring back the money. Yeah, we're not going over them. So that becomes the sort of case in point, doesn't it? It's busy in here today. Let's go see with anything floating around in this. Oh, we do. We have a swan. Let's have a look. Let's make sure there's no cygnets around, because then things can get quite aggressive. Look at that. That swan's just chilling. Yeah, this one would be a hell of a lot more aggressive if it had any of its young around, telling me to sod off in no uncertain terms. But I will anyway. I'll leave it while it's chilled. So yeah, I always give people a chance. I don't think you can prejudge what the new woman heading up the division is going to do. But I think it's probably fair to say that she's got a job on her hands. The other interesting thing is as well that rumours are abound that Sony are going to no longer release their first party games on PC. They're going to keep them console exclusive. I don't know how much that difference that will make in those terms, because the PC, gaming to that level is kind of expensive, to be honest. I think a lot of people game on console because of the perception of affordability. So we'll see. I'll wait a little while longer before I go out there, but I will do. Just if we can get a few more, like a week or so. I mean, it doesn't have to be completely dry, but not raining day after day. The ground should start to firm up. Anyway, so yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting. It was an interesting sort of subject. What's going to happen with Microsoft going forward, and other consoles as well. But sort of generally speaking, it's from the mainstream AAA industry perspective. It's been quite a bruising period of time. Indie games. Oh, hello. Indie games definitely are the way forward, I think. And the quality of indie games as well, a lot of them are quite phenomenal. Or even like what we used to call the mid-market. I think they call them like AA games now. We used to call it the mid-market. Even those can step in. Believe it or not, some games that are now AAA games, once upon a time, you would probably call them mid-market or AA games. Some developers, Gearbox, they were making sort of add-on packs for the original Half-Life. Before they sort of started to branch out more themselves. You call them a AAA developer now, but they grew. So there are always opportunities. Some ducks over there, but it looks like or geese. That is a family of them. So any of you that follow me on X will know that I put Amazon on blast this week. So I pre-ordered Resident Evil 9, or Resident Evil Requiem, to give it its proper name. And it should have been delivered on Saturday. It should have been delivered on Friday. Amazon used to get you the games on launch day, but that slipped. And so they said they were going to deliver it on Saturday. And it sort of got to Friday night and it was showing it hadn't been dispatched. I was a bit like, okay. Now that's not unusual. Amazon's notification system can be a little bit hit or miss. So I wasn't overly concerned. I just thought, well, sometimes it'll say it's dispatched and out for delivery. It can be within an hour on the day it's coming out, or on the day it's supposed to come out. So I wasn't bothered. And then on Saturday, probably around 10 a.m, 11 a.m, around that time, I thought I'd check to see if it's been dispatched and what time to expect it. And got told that the delivery date had changed and now to expect it on the 13th of March, which is 2 weeks after its launch. Well, needless to say, I was not very happy. When I pre-order a game, I either expect it on the day of release, and certainly the day after. Random dog. That's certainly the point. The issue I have with a game like this is, as a gamer, and I follow gaming channels on social media, people can't help themselves but spoil things. Yeah? People just can't keep their mouths shut. And no matter where you go with this, you get people who just gums are flapping. And so, invariably, because the game got delayed and I wasn't able to start playing it, and even though I was trying to avoid it, still got spoiled. Some people just are mindless and thoughtless. So your options in this day and age, which is not particularly viable, by the way, but nevertheless appears to be the only option that you have, is to avoid going on the internet. Because people put spoilers in video titles on YouTube. As somebody who subscribes to a lot of video gaming channels on YouTube, given the fact that I've been uploading videos to YouTube, I have to go on YouTube. You can't really avoid that when you're trying to upload videos. And because people are cretins, they put spoilers in the title of their videos for a game that has only just come out. Just thoughtless. They don't care. And it's all because they want to get the views, the clicks. So that was wonderful. So that's a game that I ordered, a £60 video game, spoiled, even though I was avoiding social media as best as possible. It's the same with films. And TV shows. Like, just put a sock in it. It's an absolute joke. You know, just, you can do a video, just don't put spoilers in the title. Now, searching around on the internet, this was quite a common thing. I think Amazon had made a complete mess of everything with this release. However, I've been advised it has been dispatched today. Better late than never, I suppose, but yeah, game's been spoiled. Not in its entirety, but you know, certain things. And what's particularly annoying as well is when you're watching a video and the video isn't even about something, and then they bring it up. It's like, oh, could have put that in your, like, oh, you know, you could have put that in your video description. That'd have been nice. You know, just clue people into the fact that you were going to talk about it. Don't just suddenly bring it up at random. But it's the age we live in. We live in an age of very self-centered individuals. You know, people who don't for a single moment consider anyone else. We see examples of it all the time, not just on the internet, but society as a whole. There's a lot of thoughtlessness. But yeah, that just kind of annoyed me a bit when I was even trying to avoid them. And, you know, invariably, this is what happens. And for what? Let's have a look down at this water's edge here. What that? It's quite clear. It's quite clear. Very still. There's not much in the way of wind. So yeah, that was that. I think it also sort of dials into the whole quality of services as well that's on the decline. Amazon used to be fantastic. Can't really say that these days, to be honest. I think in the past few years, as they've become sort of more all-consuming, the quality of their service has declined quite considerably. They certainly don't carry the stocks of physical media that they used to. They seem to have surrendered a considerable portion of that over to third-party retailers and sellers who charge overinflated prices for things. So yeah, not good. Not good in the slightest. Have another pop down here. It's not a single life at all. It's really quiet. Very still. And very quiet. So disappointed, but yeah, the quality, or sorry, you know, the stock they carry of physical media has definitely declined quite severely. The AI automated response on X was funny. Didn't offer any explanation as to why it was delayed. And it's clearly there was a problem on Amazon's end because, you know, just a simple Google search turned up numerous people complaining that they'd pre-ordered the game and they weren't getting it either on launch day or the day after. And I mean, I'm an Amazon Prime subscriber as well. Not that that would make any difference for when the game would be dispatched. But yeah, not very happy. Not been very happy with Amazon for some time. Especially, like I say, when it comes to the stock of things. I mean, it's a double whammy really, because I would have gone and got it from the store, but there aren't any physical stores, physical stockists near me now. They've all gone. And certain ones like Argos, which have outlets inside of the chain of Sainsbury's supermarkets here that are local to me, are rubbish when it comes to stock. They never have anything in. It's only like a small afterthought. Argos used to be quite a big store. It was like one of these catalogue driven stores, and it used to be very big, the one near me. And then Sainsbury's supermarket took it all over. I'm not going up there, I'm going to go this way. It's been churned up with vehicles, I think. We'll take the lakeside stroll. And yeah, as I was saying, they shut the big store that used to have loads of stock of just about everything you could imagine. Never had a problem getting anything from there. And then if on the rare occasion there was an issue, there was an even bigger one the next town over, a really big one, and they definitely had the stuff, and they shut that down as well. So now you just have these, well, they're tiny by comparison, so they don't have the room for stock. So their functionality is you order it online and then go and collect from there, you know, after a day or so, which to my mind just defeats the objective of high street shopping. You might as well buy it off Amazon if you're going to do that, or another place. And they're no better either when it comes to the delivery dates of stuff. You know, quite often you can be waiting a really long time. So they're another operation, another company that was bought out by a bigger company, and then the bigger company is just managing the decline of the other company they bought out, which makes you wonder why they bought it in the first place, because they weren't in any competition with one another. Sainsbury's is a grocer's primarily, You know, it's where you do your food shopping there. Argos was electrical goods, games, clothes. Well, not, you know, small selection of clothes. I don't know really. I never used them for clothes, but stuff for your home. You know, vacuum cleaners, hedge cutters, lawn mowers, that kind of stuff. It's like an all-purpose thing. Most definitely they weren't in the food business, so Sainsbury's obviously wanted to get into all of that, and then they're running it down. So, you know, it's how the weirdness of it all works, isn't it? But yeah, very bizarre. For the release of a big AAA game, you know, I'd contend one of the biggest of the year. It's not all going to be up there with Grand Theft Auto 6, but it's still one of the big AAA releases of the year. To mess up that bad, it's just another indicator to me that physical media is on its last legs. Has been driven forward by the consumers. People just not paying attention. People not understanding what digital-only libraries mean. And no matter how many videos you put up, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, you can't see it. No matter how many examples you can show them. I've done a video on this before in the past. They don't get it. It's funny. People will only, these days, people don't learn. They have no intentions of learning. They won't listen to people who've got experience of such things. They won't listen to facts. Because anything that comes into their world that doesn't dovetail with their perception of it, they push it away. And if you do that, you'll never learn. You'll never grow as a person. But that's what the world's like right now. People are just buttoned down and locked into their view. And if you try to show them what the consequences of those things are, don't want to know. They don't want to know. So what do you do with that? I just don't bother. I don't get into the debate with them. Because I do know the risks are digitally. I try desperately to buy physical media wherever I can. It's not always possible. You know, there are certain indie games that will never come out in physical media because of the costs associated with it. But for a small indie team, it's very hard. But what you tend to find is if those games are successful, then they will get a physical release at some point along the line. But for the most part, the vast majority of indie games don't. And that's just the way it is. That's, you know, that's understandable. But your big AAA games, or even your AA games, do. And I have listened to both sides of the argument. I do understand about convenience, but then I've also seen plenty of examples of how how digital media is manipulated and how it can be taken away. at the click of a button, and there's nothing you can do about it. As I've said before, I can play any one of my PS1 games that I've got, so long as I've got the hardware necessary. That won't be the case with your PS5 games. That won't be the case at all. Anyway, that's it. Get home now, get this edited and uploaded. Just on a little side note, I think things are quietening down on my channel, unfortunately. The views are going down. The few comments I was getting have dried up, so we'll see. I'll revisit this at some point and have a look. But that'll do for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.